from the Preakness. Big Drama gets off to a good start. Muskin Man is there too. Here's Rachel Alexandra on the far outside, Pioneer of the Nile. And Freezing Fire has some early speed too. So they pass by us for the first time. And Velasquez is taking Big Drama well out into the track. Farthest out though, it is Rachel Alexandra. Being taken a bit wide going into that first turn here. Freezing Fire is third, Pioneer of the Nile is fourth. Take the Points is fifth on the outside as the filly gets floated wide. Then Papa Clem was down sixth toward the rail. General Quarters is seventh and Musket Man is eighth. And then it's Tone It Down is winning ninth on the outside. A break of five back to Wayne Lucas's two runners, Flying Private and Love Gov. And they're followed by Terrain and Mind That Bird. The Derby winner, where he was in the Derby at this point, he is last. Now about 12 lengths from the lead. Strong enough is the pace for him to run into. It was a 46 3/2 mile, and the filly's in front. She's in front early on here. Rachel Alexandra narrowly. Big Drama still going to stay right with her all the way. Freezing Fire looms back in third position. Half mile to go in the Preakness. On the inside, Papa Clem runs along in for it. Far outside, Pioneer of the Nile. Now running in fifth. From the back of the pack, Mind That Bird. 13th, 12th, 11th, and he's 10th now. And there's 3 furlongs to go. Mind That Bird beginning to roll. Around the far turn here at Pimlico. Rachel Alexandra, the leader by 2 as the field turns for home. Big Drama running in second now. Mind That Bird looks for a way through, and he had to go way outside for it. Musket Man toward the inside. Rachel Alexandra's in front with 1 furlong to go. Musket Man moves to second. Mind That Bird is third on the outside. The filly trying to hold on. She's clear by 3. Mind That Bird runs at her late. Here's the wire. And the filly did it! Rachel Alexandra has defeated the Kentucky Derby winner, Mind That Bird, by 3/4 of a length. Musket Man was third. The final time was 1:55 flat. A magnificent victory, an exquisite filly, and a thrill to see.
She is a super filly, Rachel Alexandra, the first filly to win the Preakness Stakes in 85 years and only the 5th overall. And she did it by holding off the on-charging Kentucky Derby winner, Mind That Bird. The 2 stars of the show hooking up in the final 16th of a mile in a thrilling finish to the Preakness Stakes. There's Mind That Bird, who was a game on-charging second under the new rider, Mike Smith.
He's making a huge run around the turn. He found the gap that he needed to. Chip Woolley a little disappointed there. He shouldn't be disappointed. He's done a great job, and the horse ran a great race, Tom.
Well, we can say one thing about the 1-2 finishers, Gary Stevens. They both are for real.
They are both for real, and Calvin knows his job.
Well, Donna Brothers has pulled alongside Calvin Borel and Rachel Alexandra. Take it, Donna.
I have to let Mike Smith and Calvin complete their conversation. Mikey just said everybody stayed on the rail. Nobody would get off. So apparently he didn't get through. Everything went perfectly for you. Tell me about your...
She kind of struggled a lot, to tell you the truth. Yeah, she
struggled with the ground?
Yes, ma'am. You know, I think she's kind of used to that track at Churchill where she just skips along. You know, when I rode in New Orleans, that rain, it got hard. I know she loves a hard track. And she was very struggling at the end there a little bit. Because, I mean, we went pretty good, but I was comfortable. And then, you know, it's such a narrow track here. And she went to pricking the ears. So I had to get into her a little bit because sometimes they'll pull up over here, you know. You got to be careful about that.
Well, the early fractions, 23, 46, and 3 for the half mile. Do you feel like maybe the first half was a little fast for it?
You know, the first quarter was good. But then we picked it up when we headed down the backside, you know. But then we kind of slowed it down back, and I was fine. And like I say, you know, she was struggling. When I more I'd ask her, the more she struggled. Because she'd never been hit before, you know. I hit her a couple of times left-handed on the lane, and she kind of struggled.
2 weeks ago, amazing finish for you on Mind That Bird. This time you had to be looking over your shoulder. Did you see him coming on the outside?
Yeah, I seen him coming, but I had him spotted, baby. About 3 jumps from the wire, hung on my stick, and just galloped in, you know.
So did you feel like you had it won the whole time?
Yes, ma'am, I did. Believe me, when they're going to come and hook her, head and head, it's going to take a racehorse to beat her.
Seem a bit more...
There's one in the world to beat her, okay?
Well, you seem a bit more subdued over this victory than in the Derby. Did you just feel like you knew this one was going to happen?
Yes, ma'am. Like I told you all along, baby. She's the greatest horse I've ever been on in my life. And believe me, bar none, did not handle the track 110%.
And still won. Now, what about if they decide to run her back in 3 weeks in the Belmont? You've been familiar with that track? What about a mile and a mile and a half for her?
I'm not worried about nothing. I'm gonna leave that up to Mr. Jackson and Steve, and I just want to thank Mr. Jackson. Thank you. Thank everybody in Kentucky, and I love you, Mom and Dad. And thank you for the little boy that got cancer here. We're gonna try to help him, okay?
Congratulations, Calvin. Let's go to Kenny Rice.
All right, Donna. Well, Calvin just said he loved everybody. There's a lot of love here. The entire Asmussen family is here. Steve, 2 weeks ago, you probably thought you'd be watching this on NBC, and then you get the call from Jess Jackson. What's it all been like to win this?
What amazing 10 days it's been. You know, just can't tell you what a fan of the filly I am. You know, Hal Wiggins, his staff, what a great job that they did with her, and they deserve a ton of credit for it.
As this race was unfolding, it looked like the push button, the classic moves that we've seen her in the past.
I can't say enough. You know, the second quarter, 23, I just thought that she took it to him and earned this victory. Enough can't be said about her talent. You know, Mr. Jackson to step up and to acquire this filly and to give her this chance. And when you're in the grandstand, all the people that were cheering for her, it was incredible.
Wow, I know they love her.
Yep.
And they talk about, well, should she take them on? Well, she certainly proved everything and then some, I guess.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Mr. Jackson's been rewarded for his faith in her, and hopefully he's as happy as everybody else.
Don't you wish it was always this way? You get a good horse, you win a big race.
Thank you very much. Very blessed. But thank you.
Congratulations, Steve. Now let's go to Bob Newmeyer.
Well, Mike Smith has won a lot of big races in his life, and he's lost a lot of big races in his life near the wire. This was a thriller, Mike, from start to finish. You told me last night you wanted to make one solid late run. Did you think you timed it right?
I thought I did. I tell you, Bob, my hat's off to her. She's a talented mare. Anybody else would have caved in, but he ran great. No one would leave the rail. I mean, I kept waiting for someone just to give me a crack, and they all knew I'd be trying that, so everybody was just sticking on it, and I had to come around a few. Was able to, get in between them. He's such a brave little horse, and he ran on huge, Bob.
Did you think you had a shot at her deep in the lane?
I thought I had a shot at the race pole. I said, if that mare felt her just a little bit, I'll catch her. And she didn't. She kept running hard, but I was getting her at the end. A mile and a quarter a day, I catch her.
Mike, did you have any chance to chat with Calvin Borel immediately following the race?
I certainly did.
What'd you tell him?
He said he was just really proud that he ran second, that he proved he was no fluke. I said if I'd had that real shirt, it might have been a different outcome. But like I said, his mare ran huge, and I was just proud of our horse.
Mike, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Mike Smith aboard the second finisher, the Derby winner. What a race.
And there's a look at Rachel Alexandra. Calvin Borel's first Preakness win. He was second on Street Sense a couple of years ago. Second Preakness victory for trainer Steve Asmussen, who had Curlin. And Rachel Alexandra, the 70th favorite to win the Preakness and the first to win it from post position 13. Jess Jackson accepting congratulations and a hug for his trainer Steve Asmussen.
Yes, sir. Let's get out of the way.
And the painting of the weather vane in the colors of the Stone Street stable has already begun, another Preakness tradition.
Longtime assistant Scott Blasey leading the filly into the winner's circle there. He was the same one that was with Curlin night and day all through his 3-year-old campaign and his world record-breaking campaign last year before he retired.
She was the first Kentucky Oaks winner ever to start in the Preakness, and she wins it. And the last matchup between Kentucky Derby and Oaks winners was back in 1999 in the Belmont Stakes, when Silver Bullet Day and Charismatic both lost to Lemon Drop Kid. Prior to that, it was in the 1988 Breeders' Cup Distaff with Derby champ Winning Colors and Oaks winner Goodbye Halo beaten by the undefeated older filly Personal Ensign. And Jess Jackson, who told Calvin he could continue to ride the filly that he'd done so much with before she was sold. He had faith in the rider Calvin Borel, kept him aboard Rachel Alexandra, and she responds with a resounding victory in the Preakness, only the 5th filly to have won the race and the first in 85 years. The Black-Eyed Susans. emblematic of victory in the Preakness.
This filly is not exhausted as you would expect either, and it was amazing to hear Calvin say that she did not handle this surface and still won by
still beat a dozen males.
Exactly.
There's the Woodlawn Vase in the foreground as Calvin dismounts from Rachel Alexandra. Well, you said from the 13th post that she should be able to